I'm Comet the Duck on the Walking with Him channel. This video is a God moment, a time when God seemed particularly close and present in my life. In video 9, my understanding of God fell apart, and I almost walked away from Him. But I didn't. I stayed. My heart was feeling numb and broken because I didn't understand God anymore. Still, I reached out to Him, not sure what would happen. I was surprised when He answered right away, saying, "Let's go spend a day in the mountains." I didn't know yet how special that day would be. I meant to leave early, but it was noon when I got there. Was I too late? Then I saw a deer walking by on the road. She stayed still for a moment, as if posing for her picture. Did God arrange that moment? I thanked Him just in case. When I got to the viewpoints, there were chipmunks everywhere. Oh, if only I'd brought something for them. They saw my empty hands and refused to come close. There were 2 other people there, but they were heading for their car. I sifted through the remains of sunflower seeds on the ground, hoping to find a forgotten one. There was nothing. Suddenly a voice startled me. The people had backtracked and were offering me a handful of peanuts. I thanked them. I was stunned. That timing. If I'd arrived 2 minutes later, they would have been gone. It was God's signature. I spent more than an hour feeding the chipmunks. It was such a tender moment. Those little feet were so light. Each felt like God's caring touch. I felt my heart healing. What joy I had in taking their pictures. I knew the picture quality wouldn't be great, but it wasn't about perfect shots. I took them as reminders that God was with me. There was a strong and gusty wind. Oh, how the birds made me laugh. They moved so fast. One bird jumped off the ledge, opening its wings. The updraft was so strong that in a split second, without flapping its wings a single time, it was 30 feet up in the air. The bird seemed so surprised that I couldn't help but chuckle. Another one angled his body downwards and folded his wings to try to lose altitude. But the wind was so strong, it just stayed right where it was. I couldn't stop grinning. I was laughing with God, sharing His joy in the way the wind challenged the birds. It was a magical moment. I was driving again when suddenly I saw a fox trotting across the road. He went fast, climbed the bank, and was gone. I looked at the tall bank. If I climbed up there, would the fox still be there? What happened next was nearly unbelievable. When I reached the top of the bank, the fox was right there, only about 60 feet away, so close. There was a bush in the way. I walked around it, getting closer and closer, and the fox didn't move. Finally, I was maybe 10 feet away, and he was still sitting there, ignoring me. I felt God's presence then. That fox stayed and stayed. I think God was laughing at how many pictures I took. Eventually, after dozens of them, I finally thought to take a video. And the fox stayed for that too. I wondered, was God hiding me, making me look like a bush to the fox? A car passed on the road below, making a soft rumble as it crossed the cattle guard. The fox jumped up, clearly unsettled. The car passed and he settled down again. I wondered at that incident. The noise way down on the road scared him, but my presence 10 feet away did not. The contrast was striking. Then the fox got up, stretched, and trotted away. He cautiously headed down the bank again, looking around with care. Yet he totally ignored me as I scrambled after him, taking more pictures. He walked calmly across the road and disappeared in the forest. What an incredible once-in-a-lifetime encounter. I knew without a doubt that God had arranged this meeting, and I was in awe. I reflected as I drove home. God was so generous today. My heart was full. Last night I told him, I don't know how to talk to you anymore. He greeted me with a deer. He healed my heart with a handful of peanuts and the tiny feet of chipmunks. Then he used birds to show me with playfulness and laughter that I could still chat with him and be with him just like before. And then there had been another part to his message, the way that fox stayed. It had to be something about closeness. What a day it had been. I thought this was the end of my God moment, but it wasn't. 2 nights later, an owl came to perch above my duck pen. Oh, it's a sturdy pen. The ducks were quite safe, so I was free to admire him. What a big owl he was. He didn't leave when I walked out, nor when I shone my flashlight on him. He stayed while I went back into the house and got my phone. What followed was hilarious. I was trying to direct my flashlight on the owl with one hand while attempting to take a picture with the other, but I couldn't quite take the picture one-handed. It was so awkward. My first efforts came out all blurry. But the owl stayed patiently, ignoring me, while I tried to figure out how to get his picture. He didn't fly off till I finally had a good one. A few nights later, some deer came. They too stayed when I came out with the flashlight and the phone. Suddenly an idea came to me. All those animals? Was God telling me something about himself? All astonished and surprised, I asked him, God, were all those animals telling me that you too are someone who stays? I felt his warm smile as he answered, gently sarcastic, What do you think? I burst out laughing. It was so obvious now. I felt so much love towards him. God stayed. I stayed. And on that foundation, our relationship remained unbroken. Thank you for listening to this true story. If you've had God moments of your own, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. See you next time.